I'd like to call this this meeting tonight of January 12th, 2015 to order. And we would like to start with the Pledge of Allegiance. And I see we have a bunch of scouts. Is there somebody want to pick somebody to lead the way at the microphone? Okay. Up here. Thank you.
Well decorated.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, roll call shows everybody is present, including department heads. I'd like to go to the approval of the minutes of December 8th, 2014.
If you notice, there's a different set of minutes on your desk that has an amended version already. So I'd make the motion that we do approve the minutes that were on the desk.
I'll support that.
For discussion? Okay, all in favor say aye.
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 Opposed? Approval of bills.
I got a question on the bill.
Go ahead, Harvey.
Thank you. I noticed on the, this is our December report, and that makes it our second quarterly report. I noticed on the revenue report, for the current month, there are a lot of zeros. In fact, there's only 5 entries as opposed to the November report that had some 20 entries. So I suspect there's some entries that are missing there. Also, on the second page, the financial report, the numbers are way too low. There's only $7,174 for the current month. That would indicate that nobody got paid all month. We never spent any money all month, so I think these reports need to be, at least those 2 pages need to be amended.
I will see that Lori gets those taken care of and new reports sent out to all of the council.
Thank you.
Anybody spot anything else?
I'll make the motion that we pay some bills.
I'll support.
For discussion? Okay, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Shuffling my front page away. Is there any additions or deletions to the agenda?
There is one you should have in front of you. I made an agenda note for it. Tim and I had a discussion today. State statute actually requires us to approve the actual dates of the city council meetings in case there's any days that need to be changed. On the schedule in front of you, you'll notice that Memorial Day, the 25th, falls on a regularly scheduled meeting day. So would like to put that under new business so that we can get the actual dates designated for 2015 and figure out when we're going to reschedule that May 25th meeting for.
Okay, let's make that 4 then.
I'll move the amended agenda.
I'll second.
Okay, further discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right. Public comment, we'll hold off on public comment. We'd like to have a recognition. I think we should do that.
All right, thank you, Mayor and Council, for the opportunity tonight. Certainly the latter part of 14, the early part of 15 was a pretty unusual period for us in terms of actual structure fire activity. On January 1st at 5:24 a.m., we were dispatched for a detached garage fire over off Lyon Boulevard. Resident woke up, heard crackling, and when we got the 911 call, the garage was already fully involved. The Engine 2 crew that consisted of Deputy Chief Mike Weir, Sergeant David Johnston, firefighter Chris Lynn, and firefighter Lauren LaCroix were the first ones to arrive. And because of the level of fire involvement, they had to pull what we call the 2.5, which is a hose line that's actually 2.5 inches in diameter, throws about 300 gallons of water. And to say that it's a workout for two people would be an understatement. But had they not pulled that line and got that line into action as quick as they did, I'm very confident that the back of the house would have started to suffer structural damage. The deck was already starting to catch on fire. Both vehicles in the garage were on fire. So we had a very, very narrow window frame for them to get there, knock the fire down. And fortunately, once we got the garage knocked down, the family was back in that house that day. So the garage was a loss, but the structure was saved, the main structure, and we didn't have to put a family out in the beginning of January. So I'd like to recognize and express my appreciation to the Engine 2 crew for their exemplary work on January 1st. So thank you. Thank you, Mayor and Council.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Okay.
One of those right on my block.
Now, we certainly appreciate the fire department. You know, a lot of communities have good fire departments, but I think we have an outstanding one. Anybody have any public comment as far as an issue that's not on the agenda? State your name and address, please.
I'm Tyler Strauss, SPL of Troop 38. I'd like to introduce Troop 38 to the council. I'd just like to, 9550 Silverside. I'd just like to introduce the troop and express our gratitude for being able to witness what's happening here tonight. I'd also like to reach out to the community just to say that we are a public service to South Lyon, and we're always looking for additional service projects to work on. So if there's anyone who's looking for anything for the community to get done, you can always reach out to us, and we'll do our best to accommodate you. Thank you.
What would be a contact number for you? For them to call, or how do they find you?
You could contact me at my email, which is tstrauss, TSTRAUSS, at wccnet.edu. Or you could call me on my cell, which is 248-962-8882. There are other contacts in the troop, but mine's the best one I've memorized.
You did well with that, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So contact me if there's anything that you'd be interested in getting done. We are a public service to South Lyon, and we're always looking for ways to help.
Go ahead and repeat your phone number again, if you would.
It's 248-962-8882.
All right, thank you, Mr. Strauss. Appreciate it. Anybody else? Okay, we can move on to old business, and when that becomes a public hearing for the CDBG program. And so I will go ahead and call us a start to this public hearing. Anybody wishes to speak on this regarding where we can spend approximately, what was the figure on that? 27 something? $27,000. You got a project you think we should be working on, an idea?
27,247.
27,247. I guess nobody wants to spend any money. You have something you want?
I have a question. What is the program?
It's county monies that come to us, but we have to spend them on certain things like sidewalks or,
Actually, it's federal money, it's the Community Development Block Grant.
right, through the county.
And yes, it comes from the county, it's entitlement funds, and there's only certain things, it has to be spent for people that have low to moderate incomes or to support senior services in the community, things like transportation, meals, libraries, service projects, things like that.
Okay.
We used to have a quadrant that qualified for this money for sidewalk improvements and some of those types of things. Those no longer exist, though, so that's why we typically, the next section, you'll see where we usually end up putting this money.
Okay, anybody else? All right, we'll go ahead and close the public hearing. We go to project selection. When you can speak to that?
We are looking to, once again, allocate the funds this year to support the Center for Active Adults and Haven. That allows us to support Meals on Wheels, the senior center, and those types of community service projects that help our seniors and other members of the community. And again, being federal funds, they're very limited in what they are allowed to spend on, but these are great things for our community.
And of course, it helps us, we contribute more funds than the 27,000, but it helps to supplement that. Would you have that breakdown by chance, what we give now to Haven?
I didn't bring my budget book.
Okay, all right. I was thinking the Haven and of course the center, we give quite a proportionate amount to the senior center, which is attached to the high school. You kids are probably aware of that one, so. Anybody got any other ideas or want to make a motion?
I think this has worked for us historically, and as you said, with the other things that we do end up making contributions to, this is supplemental, so it does defer some of our costs from in-house.
So is the motion then going to be to approve the funds for the Center for Active Adults in Haven? Is that what we're going to allocate the funds for?
Yeah, because that's in the back.
2,500 for
Okay.
Haven.
2,500, yeah.
All right, then I'll make that motion.
I'll support it.
Further discussion? Okay, all in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed? Okay, we can move on to new business now, and we had some donations.
Oh, You
Go ahead.
forgot one thing, you didn't approve the application.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry.
I'll make the motion then to approve the application.
Somehow I was thinking that was
2014.
it.
I'll support that as well.
Okay, further discussion on that? All right, all in favor, say aye.
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 Is it
Opposed?
14 or 15?
For which? It's the 2015 application.
Oh, well, then I'll amend my motion to say the 2015 application. Sorry.
We need to vote on that?
You can accept that as a friendly amendment.
Yeah, friendly amendment, sounds good to me. Now we have an acceptance of donations, and I'll let Lynn read them off.
The first donation is a $100 donation to the South Lyon Police Department. And we want to thank these residents. Ken and Barb Turner gave the police department $100 as a thank you for the service they provide to our community, and we want to thank this family for that donation and accept that on behalf of the city.
I'll make the motion to accept the $100 donation from Mr. and Mrs. Turner and thank them for their generosity.
I'll support that.
Further discussion, I've known Mr. Turner since he and I were both about 6 and 8 years old apart, and he's always loved his community, and it's certainly nice to see him contribute to it like that. Now we had donations for the city Christmas party.
We had several businesses that donated to the city Christmas party. HRC, which is Hubble, Roth, and Clark, the city's engineers. CIV, which is our community planner. Duncan Disposal, Plant Moran, and Johnson Rosati Schultz, the city's attorney, for a total of $1,425. We'd like to thank all of these wonderful businesses for supporting the city for our holiday party. I believe everyone, including these businesses that attended, were very happy and enjoyed themselves. And
Can I interrupt for just a second? We didn't vote on that last one. Do you want to do them as a block, or are we doing them as that Turner one was separate and this is separate?
I thought we'd do the donations as one
Okay,
vote, is how I
okay.
was going to do it, because there was one agenda item.
All right.
And also, we might want to throw in the resale shop contributed, and so did Company Rudder contributed towards the party as well.
So what do you want there? Do you want us to amend the original motion, or just do another motion on,
No, that's a donation that they made that wasn't included in her list.
I'm not sure that answered my question.
So how much, I
There
mean,
was a motion made for the for the Mr. and Mrs. Turner, but it wasn't voted on, is what they're saying,
Yes.
Mr. Wallace.
Oh. You want it separate for that? Fine, okay.
Well, the motion was made specifically for that one, so if you want to amend the motion to count in all of these.
We can do that. I'll amend the motion to accept the donations from the Turners, as well as the vendors that provided monetary donations for the city holiday gathering.
I'll support.
For discussion? All in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed?
Sorry for that confusion.
Acceptance of grant.
Okay, the police department made an application to the Michigan Municipal Risk Management Authority for a grant to offset the cost of new prisoner partitions for the police cars. The total cost of the partitions was $1,660, and we were awarded a grant of $500. So we would like to have the council accept the $500 grant donation.
I'll make the motion that we accept the grant in the amount of $500 from the MMRMA RAP grant program.
I'll support that.
Okay, further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Just a comment, this insurance company has really provided us an awful lot of financial opportunities to capitalize on things just like this, and I, for one, am really grateful for that.
The approval of the road closure for the Pint Size Marathon between 12 and 12:30 on March 25th, 2015. Is there any representatives here? Great. State your name and address.
Stephanie Reif, 21011 Parkwoods. I represent Footprints Fitness. I started Footprints Fitness back last May. We just got our approval from the IRS to be a 501c3. Our focus is on family fitness throughout the community. We do programs like family yoga right now. We do 5K training programs. I've got a lot of my board represented here, and then I also have Witch's Hat, who is helping us support the race, which we're calling the Pint Size Marathon. Witch's Hat is in participation with us. We're using them for their help to get our name out, because that's what our goal is to get some more publicity out and have people know who we are. The chief has been very helpful in getting our application put through, and I've got some maps and some other information if any of you want it. Would you like a copy
What
of
age
this?
group is this entail?
Anybody can run it.
Oh, okay, if you're just a little guy, then you
Yep,
can
yep, we intend for everybody. 2.62 is not that far.
Yeah.
A 3-year-old probably can't run it, but we can walk it, run it. And then the road part closure, it's going to be, Dorothy is going to close at the start of it, just for the start of it, and then we'll open it back up. And the expectation is that that police officer can go over to McMunn, where we're going to cross to, but the road shouldn't be closed there, but there'll be an officer guiding traffic. Do you have any questions about it? Would you guys like to see the map at all if you don't already have one?
I think we have one in
Have
in
one
part of our
in there?
packet.
I move that we approve the closure of Dorothy Street between Pontiac Trail and McMunn Street on April 25th, 2015, between 12 noon and 12:30, and to approve the use of the Witch's Hat Depot, McHattie Park, and the rail trails for the Pint Size Marathon.
support.
First annual.
Yes, the first annual, hopefully many more to come.
Okay, further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, now your new agenda item.
Yes. minutes. You should have in front of you a list of the regular meetings for the governing body of the city council. That would be January 12th today and the 26th, February 9th and 23rd, March 9th and 23rd, April 13th and 27th, May 11th and 25th, which is the first conflict we have. The 25th is Memorial Day, so we will need to have the council set an alternative date for that council meeting date. June 8th and 22nd, July 13th and 27th, August 10th and 24th, September 14th and 28th, October 12th and 26th, November 9th and 23rd, and December 14th and 28th. And I did not know if the council wanted to go ahead and determine at this time, with the 28th being a Monday, Christmas falling on a Saturday, and New Year's falling on a Saturday. Do you want to decide now or at the end of the year whether you want to have that second meeting in December or not?
Well, historically, we haven't, and
Historically, you haven't, but
with the notice of an emergency, we could always call one.
we could go ahead and do that. What I've done is I've already established on the website the city's holiday calendar, so we can let everyone know what days we are going to be closed. The 3rd of July will be our 4th of July holiday, as that falls on a Saturday this year. I'm just trying to get this kind of information out to the community earlier, so that there's no questions about when City Hall is going to be open and available, and if we can get used to having this information out at the beginning of each year, I think the community would appreciate that.
So on Memorial Day, we have to, we've done Tuesday normally.
Yeah, I was gonna say, haven't we done Tuesday on,
Yeah.
yeah.
So we'd want to schedule that for the 26th.
Anything else you spot, folks?
So I'll make the motion, then we approve the 2015 city council meeting schedule with the May 25th date being moved to May 26th.
I'll second that.
December meeting?
And,
Let's-
yeah,
Let's
Second
decide
December.
that in December,
Yeah,
like
we-
we always do.
yeah, we always decide that in December, don't we? We'll just keep it on the schedule right
Yeah,
now. Until,
I'm okay with that.
That's fine.
So I stand by my motion.
Your emotion? Okay, any further? Did we get a second? I missed that.
Yeah,
I second it.
Okay. Further discussion? Okay, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. Managers report?
I just have a couple of things this evening. You also have in your packet, and I don't want, the fire department got a lot of recognition. I don't want the police department not to get recognized. We had several officers that received a thank you note from the community for their service above and beyond, including Officers Barber and Setterland. I helped out one of our local community members with their spouse this past month. I wanted to make sure I pointed that out to the council. We are also in the process of working on the city budget. We'll be asking you at the second meeting in January to set up a time in early March to do a work session to go over the budget so that we can review that and have the department heads here to answer any questions that you may have as we go over that. Hope to have the budget ready for the council to approve in early April. We want to say thank you to the Public Works Department. They did a great job in getting the streets cleared this morning, and I think everyone knows that. They've done a great job all week long. The manhole project that you guys had approved in early December is complete and finished. The crews should have all of their equipment out of that location by the water's edge. We were fortunate that it did not collapse during the process of taking it apart and reconstructing that manhole. They did find, as they were taking it apart, that It was as thin as maybe a quarter of an inch in areas, so it was definitely on the brink of collapse and failure. So it was a good thing that we did that project. And we continue to move forward. I am just about finished with the weekly reports. I believe I'm 3 weeks behind plus this week, so I owe you 4. They should be out to you tomorrow. Spent 2 hours working on those today.
2 hours reading.
And I have a memo, remind me to hand it to you before you leave, that I put together on goals for 2015 that I've put together, but I'd also like at that work session on the budget to sit down with the council and go over your goals for 2015 that you'd like to see the city accomplish.
Okay.
And that's all I have this evening.
That was a lot, thank you. On the, okay, Bev is having voice problems. I'm sure she'd like to wave at everybody, and she coughed her throat right out of condition, and that's, hopefully you're past the worst of it. Mike?
I just want to thank Bob. My son was really excited that the streets were cleared, and that he hasn't had a snow day yet this year. So I want to thank you for that. We have a community center, rec center meeting scheduled for January 19th at the Center for Active Adults, which is at the South Lyon High School at 7 o'clock. And I want to thank Troop 38 for showing up today. Appreciate it, guys. Thank you.
Harvey?
Happy New Year, everyone. Welcome to the Troop 38. Thank you for coming. AP students, you guys picked a great meeting to show up. This is one of our shortest ever. Well done, and thank you.
Okay, Joe?
Just want to say Happy New Year.
Really?
Oh, by the way, Joe, happy birthday yesterday.
Oh, thank you. Appreciate it. Thank you.
You're blushing. Where are we with a couple of the water main breaks that we have? What has been Bricko's, I mean, I know it's cold, but are they going to have to dig up Pontiac Trail?
Aaron, they're not water main,
I know.
but there's a big difference.
Yes, thank you for correcting me.
Water main is 8 inches, it would be gushing, shooting up out of the ground.
Right.
There's a very,
It's the connection.
yeah,
Yeah,
there's a
I know
very
that.
small leak down there. It comes and goes, okay? We're looking at it, but it's nothing that we're overly concerned about. It will be done when the weather permits, possibly next week we'll look at it. It's gonna have to be dug to take a look at, but not at city expense or the city workers doing it. Rico would do that, all under the contract of that job.
So there'll be, if any others experience little leaks, it's all under their contract.
Absolutely, and now, we've had 1,350 connections on that job, okay? We've had about 3 to 4 leaks or places that they had to come back, redig and look at. Far
a low
less than 1%,
percentage.
I mean, it's pretty good, you know? Is it perfect? No, it isn't, I agree with you, but they're very acceptance to their responsibilities, and they will take care of it.
I wasn't criticizing anything.
know.
I was
I
just
know, but
informing.
I just don't want-
My main thing was if it's gonna have to be dug.
Oh, yeah, it's
And,
probably gonna have to be dug, and when they pour concrete on that, a steel plate will be put over it, which people hate driving on those steel plates.
Yeah.
I hate hearing it. We don't like that, but that's how we get around that. We open Pontiac Trail or Lake Street or any busy street that day. By putting those big steel plates, and it sits there for a week, 10 days while it cures, and then we're good to go.
It's probably good we didn't resurface all of Pontiac Trail.
Absolutely, I'm so happy about that.
That was
'cause you know
probably
how tough that
that was
would've been?
probably a good vote.
And we
Okay,
never thought about it at
Yeah.
the
I mean,
time.
we're gonna revote this year?
yeah. I don't know. It's gonna have to come in front of me if I'm gonna revote on something.
Okay.
Thanks.
Sure.
Glenn?
A few weeks ago, there was an accident at the corner of Warren and 10 Mile. A gal had slammed into the car in front of her that was substantial enough to deploy the airbags and things, and the girl was pretty upset about it. And she had come to my wife and I's house, and so we tried to settle her down and contact her parents and all that. In the meantime, my neighbor, man named Jerry Scope, who's with the fire department in Green Oak, had come by. He's an EMT, so he had ended up asking, is the kid okay, and all that. And she was upset, but she was physically fine. So he ended up going out into the street and directing traffic, which, with two broken cars in the middle of the road, got pretty congested pretty quickly and presented a kind of a dangerous situation. So finally, this is probably 5 minutes later, I ended up calling the police department, and you would have thought with the hundreds of cars that had passed by there, somebody would have called 911, and no one had. So within 30 seconds, there was two squads sitting there, and they took over the direction of the traffic. But I just wanted to make sure that Jerry Scope, I wanted to reach out and say thank you for him to stand. It was a very, very cold morning, and he's out there in essentially a long-sleeve T-shirt to make sure that people didn't slam into each other, and I appreciated that. That's all I had. Thank you.
That's pretty good. Well, amazingly, everything I was going to talk about has been discussed in my here. You guys have finally got to me, and I wasn't able to come up with anything except we certainly wish everybody a Happy New Year and want to thank again the Troop 38 for coming, and also our regulars that we see here. That makes it all part of what city business is all about, and we do thank you. So with that, I'd like to ask for an adjournment.
I move we adjourn.
I'll support.
For discussion? Okay, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That ends our meeting of 33 minutes.
All right, yeah.
Thank you.